Today, we're discussing the anime version of Farewell My Concubine, which amazingly scores 9.4 on Douban. However, its surprising unique theme leaves viewers discussing endlessly. Some watch dozens of times, while others wouldn't dare revisit. The heartbreaking fate of the leads. The boy was initially a rich kid, but due to being a boy and having a bad leg, he got ditched by his family and sent to learn some comical art similar to crosstalk from Master Loyu. The master he was about to apprentice with was none other than the legendary Master Douban, and as soon as he arrived, a filthy boy jumped out from behind him. The boy bolted in 3 steps at a time, grinning smugly at the young master, leaving him utterly dumbfounded with a blank expression on his face. Little did he know, this competitive bro would be his lifelong regret. When they met Master Douban, the young master was easily accepted due to his family background, but the little beggar protested, wanting to be an apprentice, proving himself with hilarious Loyu. The serious yet utterly ridiculous performance made even the normally stoic young master chuckle. Master Douban, unable to resist the gifted little beggar, decided to take him in as well. Thus, the beggar became the young master's senior brother, and they obeyed, shared, and practiced together, time flying. The master named them Shitaro for the spirited beggar, Junibu for the frosty master. Amusing names. Finally, their long-awaited debut arrived, but Junibu was unable to sleep the night before. He kept nervously practicing his routine for the performance the next day, and the tension never subsided even as the show began. On stage, Junibu shook, sweating, telling boring jokes, sending the audience into a stupor. The audience was practically asleep, and even the master shook his head in disappointment. Finally, Junibu barely wrapped up his act and let his brother take this. Perhaps talent really is an insurmountable mountain, because once Shitaro stepped on stage with just one line, he bombed the audience with laughter. He had the whole crowd on a roller coaster of emotions, laughing from beginning to end, and Junibu couldn't help but smile at his brother's performance. However, his senior brother was quick to pick up on his smile, and shortly after the performance had ended, Junibu began to practice even harder, just trying not to fall too far behind his brother, but his forced performances caught Shitaro's eye. So, his brother offered him some advice. If you don't like the routine, just play to your own strengths. If telling funny jokes suits you better, then give it a go. Junibu blushed at the thought, but hurriedly rejected the idea, yet secretly tried it anyway. He picked up some strings and felt a calm wash over him, as the sound resonated and reminded him of his past. In that moment, he seemed to find his path, but things rarely go as planned. During a performance, war unexpectedly broke out, banning certain jokes in the industry, causing his freshly found path to collapse. Even Master Douban felt sorry for him, and Junibu was momentarily at a loss, not knowing what to do next. Just then, his brother appeared before him again. Even without words of comfort, he continued performing humorous Loyu. During his lowest point, his brother and Loyu became the driving force to keep him going. His brother turned into a spiritual pillar, and he hoped they could one day become the center of attention together. But life kept hitting him, with the flames of war spreading to their city, prompting the master's disciples to leave one by one. Eventually, only his brother and Junibu remained. Fearing for their safety, the master sent them to the countryside. The master took them for a performance to boost morale at the front lines, and for the first time, Junibu lost control of his emotions, but the master threatened him with expulsion. Junibu didn't dare say a word until the night before the separation, lying on the tatami. Neither could sleep. He wanted to keep learning Loyu and didn't want to part with his brother, but his pride held him back from speaking his heart. In the end, with deep emotion, he could only tell his senior martial brother, "No matter what, you must come back to me. Absolutely no heroically dying on the front lines." Hearing that almost made me fall asleep. How rude. Are you daydreaming? Regardless, his brother stuck around, telling jokes all night, and Junibu still couldn't sleep. All those jokes rooted deeply in his heart, and the next day, Junibu returned to the countryside with the master's wife, becoming an ordinary word. Whenever he felt uneasy, he would recite a funny story as if his brother was by his side. But suddenly, letters from the master and his brother ceased, and the mistress cried her eyes out. He often missed his brother, knowing that few could escape the final outcome of war. Most died on the battlefield, yet Junibu faithfully whispered his pact with his brother every night. He longed for his brother's return, but after the war ended, both the mistress and Junibu still hadn't heard anything from their loved ones, so they returned home to wait. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.